Good evening to all you fellow TIs out there. So, you want to know how to fortify your home security systems. Dealing with intruders coming and going in and out of your home whenever you're away. You sign up to a security system via network that's actually run by business, but they still get through. And it's unfortunate that they actually work for the organization that hires these gang stalkers. You can get your own security system installed, but there's a problem. You connecting it. I'm willing to bet you're connecting your equipment to the outlets in your home. But what you don't realize is from the outside, they can actually discharge the power throughout your home, which would actually interrupt your equipment. Even worse, if you have it wirelessly connected, they can even tap into that as well. So, what's the solution to this, you may be asking? Simple. First off, don't use your house's power to power off these electronics. Don't, you can use ones that are connected to a network, but you could use a network from a like an ISP service, like as far as any internet service you could, but it's more vulnerable that way. The best one to have is one that is your own. You can actually make your own ISP service with the right requirements, of course. I do not have those. I will not list those in this video. If you are curious about that, you could go ahead and research that for your own discretion. But you can go there is a legal way to actually have your own internet service at your own house without it having to go through a company of any kind. And you got to understand, when it comes to another company, they're going to have access to your passwords. When it comes to having social media on your stuff, it's going to share your information, which sells it off, which will sell it to the organizations that is looking to get this information in order for them to keep invading their way into your life. So, one way of dealing with this, one problem is the power source. Simple. Get a generator. A generator that does not have to be plugged up, that does not have to run off of gas, and is completely electrical and solar. Solar. I would like to say like a solar panel controlled or charged, because that way you can actually take advantage of the sunlight during the day. Whatever window is beaming out of, you can just have your electronics plugged up to that while it's soaking in all that free energy that's beaming down. You can just go ahead and take advantage of that. And I don't know if they have a silent generator. I do not know, but that's one way of actually preventing them from. Because what they would do is they would actually cut the power off, which would cut the cameras off and cut all your reconnaissance equipment out. And then they'll go in there, do whatever they were gonna do, and then they would just have everything back up again. So by the time you come home, it looked like nothing has ever happened, but you can see that there will probably be a footage gap, and unfortunately, you won't even have the evidence. Now, you may ask yourself, even they're gonna try to mess with it, of course, but why should you do it? Simple. The more and more countermeasures you have in place, the more and more stuff they have to mess with. The more and more stuff they have to mess with, the more and more evidence they leave behind of tampering. They don't want evidence that they've tampered with your home. They don't want evidence out there showing that someone's been in there. They don't want evidence that shows that someone has did something or whatever. They wanted to have it to where it seemed that you could see that someone's been in there, but you don't you won't have any evidence as to who was in there. Now, when it comes to security services, they have it to where, and honestly, like I've already went over as far as the hacking situation, they do this through they can do this stuff through your email, as well as do this if you don't have your your voicemail locked with a certain passcode, they could actually hack through that as well. So you definitely want to make sure you set up a password and a pin and all that stuff for that. Make sure you do that because they can hack through that. They can hack you with SMS messages. They can hack you with sending emails that have attachments to them with malware to it. They can use that stuff as a Trojan horse and literally infect your email. But I've actually been looking into ways that you can actually scan your email, so you can find precisely what files are infected, so you can get them out and have control back over your email. I will post that as soon as I can. But as far as home security goes, you can have cameras installed, but you want them to not be connected to the power sources outside. And I don't reckon you could also have honestly, what I recommend to do is to have it to where you can view it via network from the outside. So like you could have it like going through your phone or something like that. You could actually be able to view it. So whatever goes on, it has a countermeasures as backing up its data. Like have the data backed up to drivers, online cloud drivers. You can do that with Google. You could do that with all types of other networks that have that. Um, you can also have it to where it even has a physical drive to where it boots up the security services in there as well. And I would be mindful. I shouldn't have to tell anybody this, but also be mindful to cut off the ones for your personal use, um, and the ones that you really want to have 24-hour surveillance, such as your windows, your doors, your attics, your basements, and stuff like that. I know there's usually like windows leading towards the basement. There's usually windows leading towards the attic. And I remember I really got to find these other TIs because some of the stories they told me had me dying out laughing. There was this guy who had to literally shoot a perp off his freaking roof with a freaking BB gun. I'm not kidding around. He literally had to shoot the bastard down with a BB gun to get him off. And it's because they were trying to implant something on his house. And I think it definitely, judging from his situation, he's dealing with the RNM and remote neural monitoring, and they're even heating up his house. They're heating up his house and everything. But I really want to find his YouTube channel so that I can actually let him know about the aloe vera, because aloe vera, that heating up that they do to your place of living, that actually, because of it absorbing the radiation, its natural way of absorbing it, it actually cools down your living area, so you don't have to deal with the heating and all that stuff. And if they f with that, then that's already going to be more and more evidence. Again, they want to have it to where they can discredit anything you got to say. If they end up taking something that actually absorbs radiation, you got evidence that radiation is being pumped down onto your place, and you got both in hand. That's information they don't want you to have. So they will mess with anything they possibly can, as far as constantly being able to manipulate you, as far as them constantly wanting to have control over you. They will do that, I'm telling you. But from what I've learned, this is just more ways of keeping yourself safe, as well as the alarm systems that you can have. Motion sensors are another good thing. Motion sensors with LED lights that actually respond to motion. So, but like, think about it. What you want to do is have the motion sensor ahead of the camera, so that if they step anywhere, you got that, and you got it to where the minute the motion sensor goes off, the minute that goes off, you can have it to where and mind you, be mindful of the electronics you get. Look into this stuff. Really, really look into trusted providers, because I highly suspect that some of this stuff that's getting made has a master control system to where they can actually hijack it at will from whenever they want. So be mindful of that. If you're going to get yourself a security system, be mindful of the type of stuff that you're getting. Um, as far as anything else, there are like various ways. You want cameras to where you can have to where they won't even be able to find, by the way. And when you do your installation, I would recommend you to use you can use the EMF meter app or an actual EMF detector, and you can locate where they got their cameras stationed in your home. And you can just go when you get ready to do your installation and you're hidden. You can go ahead and install your own hidden cameras. You can actually block their view. Now, when you're doing this, you got to understand it. If you're on RNM, remote neural monitoring and remote neural manipulation, they're gonna see what you're seeing. So what you want to do in contrast to that is play Daniel Zakaeos has videos to where it can block EMF. Dr. Virtual has done the exact same thing as well. Dr. Virtual also made a video as far as the AI that even sends corrupted frequencies to the AI itself. And let me tell you, when I use that, like the little bastards that are on me right now, I ended up man, they were just they ended up struggling just to get a connection, and I used that like after the R&M dream that I had the other night, which was incredibly crazy. But I guess I can go into detail about what happened. Okay, what ended up happening was it was very weird, very perverted like and just insane. But I woke up the minute that I found out what was being said to me, and I'm like, you know something, I know damn well that I'm not like that, and I know damn well my mother isn't like that. Now, what it was is it was a dream to where I was dressed in this really weird looking outfit. It was incredibly weird, and the food that was on the table in the kitchen area when I walked in there, it had this unusual growth off of it. Like it was really disgusting looking. It was like fungus growing out of the food, like large looking roots coming out of whatever was on the table. And all of a sudden, I had my mother comes out the other room, ends up I'm telling you, for your own discretion, this is really fucked up. This is really fucked up. I'm not even gonna kid you around on this. It's really effed up. But what ends up happening is she they ended up this is incredibly hard for me to say. Please try to bear in mind and understand it. They tried to have it to where it was a manipulation to where my mom was soliciting me for prostitution, basically. Not just any prostitution, but homosexual prostitution, by the way. Um, at that moment, I immediately woke up. I woke up immediately when that happened, and I already know what my mom was like. I already know who my mom is, and the fact that she would never do no crap like that. And I know darn well that I would never accept no type of lifestyle like that. And I'm gonna warn you, if you're going through remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulation, they are gonna really f with your dreams. They are really gonna mess with those. One of the methods that I do as far as sleeping, and unfortunately I did not do it that night, and I wish I freaking did. I really did. I really wish I freaking did. One of my methods for sleeping is I would play the Rife video for Fungi, and I would also I would actually have like a marathon of one of my favorite TV shows playing as well. I would have that playing on a headset, and so whatever they're trying to feed into me as far as frequency wise, I would actually immediately it won't even affect me. It won't even matter because the sound from the actually you don't I don't even think you even need to wear headphones for this. In fact, when you do this, if you ever do this and you go to sleep, my highest recommendation is this: put something, make sure you're in a room where the doors have to open inward, and make sure you have something in front of those doors, because I know I've heard other people who have gone through the forced sleep and the forced paralysis thing, to where these people will actually go into your place of living while you're stationary on, like, literally just laying the heck down. Make sure you have something, and make sure you're in a position to where you can easily get out of it. One of the methods that I have for breaking out of that: keep yourself on the edge of the bed or on the edge of the couch or whatever you're sleeping on. Keep yourself on the edge of that. If you are able to push your body over off of that structure and you fall down, it's going to immediately give you your control back. That's the thing that I had to do when I was a kid, when my body was being forced to be in a state of paralysis. Um, that's my highest recommendation for you right there. If you're being implemented onto that, I'm gonna really need some really do some meditation after this. I really am. This whole, uh, I would have mentioned this in my other videos, but you must understand, like, situations like this, it's not easy to talk about because of how sensitive of a subject it is, and because of how crazy and demonic this technology is being used. So that's my story as far as what happened last night. I actually need to. I really, really need. I had some stuff I had to do today, as well as I had to also process after that crap that happened. So I would have had some videos earlier for you all, but you just gotta understand that I really had to process after a stunt like that happened. So as far as my R&M is concerned, in the manipulation, they've been trying to feed a lot of stuff into my subconscious, as far as both homosexuality, incest, bestiality, all kinds of crazy shit. I am not joking here. Like, there's been a whole lot of crap that I've been exposed to when it comes to this. And I've heard that I've even seen and heard that other people have gone through the exact same thing. Like, they also are trying to sensitize them to that. They're trying to influence that onto them, and it's just crazy. But you got to understand that those thoughts, those processes, those influences, those those uh reactions like that, those are not yours. That's coming from them and the technologies that they're using. Those are the impulses that they are enforcing onto you. You never even asked to even be a part of that, and you're not even interested in that, and you know darn well you're not. But at the same time, this is something that is fighting to take over your body and use for these types of indecent practices. So you just gotta come to an understanding when it comes to this stuff. This technology, man, there's some really, really effed up people behind this technology. There really is. After that little scenario that happened the other night, I'm definitely gonna take countermeasures for my sleeping from now on, like I should have. Another thing I tried before a while ago, going through this, I used a bag full of water. Now, I already know the frequency can still penetrate through water. It can penetrate through concrete and all that stuff from what they said. However, this stuff piggybacks off the radiation. The radiation cannot go through water. I got myself a bag full of water. Put that I guess you could like use a garbage bag or something, but it won't last for too long because the water will try to seep through the plastic. What I did was I put some water in there, and I put that in a pillowcase, and I had that sitting on top of my head to where my forehead was, and it was draping down towards the sides of my crown, towards the sides of my heads as well as my forehead. I had it like that, and I even had it to where I had it like on top of one side of my ear. The back part of it was draping down the back of my head as well as part of my crown. I was sleeping like that, and the radiation couldn't even get to me. It was still hitting me with it, but it wasn't able to wake me up, and I got like around 8 or 9 hours of sleep because of that. I got like 8 or 9 hours because of sleep because of that. It was incredible. Like I just couldn't believe it. Again, the frequencies can go through certain structures, but they only have influence if the radiation is there. If the radiation can't get through the surface, it doesn't have no control. Honestly, if I had the money, if I really had the money, I'd buy myself a house right off the shore of the ocean. I really would. And I actually would invite other TIs there to come live with me, to tell you the truth. But I've read the stories of, I think it was Waco, Texas, um, the Black Wall Street. And there's probably more. There's probably more scenarios to where they went to communities that were just seeking out to get away from their corruption and just wanted nothing but peace, but they just brought corruption to their doorstep. They wanted to. It's people out there who truly wanted to get away from the hate, who didn't want to be a part of this society that is twisted into the cycle of hate. That its only excuse is to have conflict within every bit of conversation that they have. Its only excuse is to fight, to slander, to destroy. They say God did cast the devil down to the earth, and they do say the devil is out there to literally steal, kill, and destroy. Makes you want to look an analysis as to what these gang stalkers have been doing of late, because they've been doing all three of those. But that's just an update for last night. I would have been on the live streams chatting with you all, but after that dream, I really had to process. I really did. I honestly did. This mess is man, dude. I'm gonna stay tuned for all the live streams they get posted out. But again, this is MM's TI Strategy Guide, and remember, stay strong, stay safe. I'm over and out.